What's up, everybody? Oh man, a couple of you guys already on. You guys are on the ball with these things, being more punctual than I am. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another daily news recap for May 22nd, 2025. I wish I had some good news today. I have a little bit of good news, but most of the shit, this has gotten out of control. The GOP in the middle of the night has decided to basically sign the death sentence for millions of Americans who will later this year, probably, or whenever they decide to do this, they will no longer have money for food for their children, and they will no longer have medical insurance. And the comments I've been getting today have been absolutely ridiculous. It just shows the absolute misunderstanding of how this works from the right because they've been brainwashed into believing all this propaganda. Why am I sitting up so high? Oh, that's why. My chair wasn't all the way down. So the GOP has decided to screw over tens of millions of Americans, mostly in red states. FEMA has yet to touch down in any of the states affected by the horrendous storms that have been passing through. Donald Trump has not even made a statement about it yet, as a matter of fact, screwing over his own constituents. And these people continue to glaze and gargle on the balls of all these billionaires who are screwing them out in the open while taking bribes simultaneously. We're talking about Donald Trump holding a crypto ball that is like $1 million a plate for people that have bought into his crypto scam. He's doing that, I think, tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then the White House press secretary, KK Caroline Levitt, who lies with such ease, is trying to convince the American people that somehow Donald Trump is not profiting off of all of this. Okay. Nike is raising prices as a result of Donald Trump's tariffs. So all you sneakerheads out there or anybody that buys anything made by Nike, it's going to be even more expensive than it already is. Nike prices are already ridiculous unless you get it at like a discount store. But if you buy it from like a Foot Locker or something like that, man, Nike's shit. I used to be into sneakers. My one best friend's in this big time into sneakers. He's got like this whole room, nothing but Nikes. And some of the prices he's paid for some of them, he doesn't even wear some of them. Two shot and killed outside an Israeli embassy. Immediately, the White House and JD Vance. I'm gonna show you a post by JD Vance where everything they're trying to do is falling flat. Like he corrected a tweet, and I'm gonna show you both tweets, the original tweet and then the correction, just to show you how he almost had it. He was so close, just fell flat on his face once again. They're incorrectly blaming anti-Semitism. Can we all agree that hating what Israel is doing to Gaza is not anti-Semitism? It has nothing to do with Jewish people. It has to do with Israel. Okay, just because Israel has Jewish people doesn't mean, but yeah, they're murdering women, children, innocent people. They're bombing hospitals. They're denying food aid to people. Not Hamas agents or soldiers or anything like that. Not terrorists, women and children. Oh, yeah, but they're the party of pro-life, right? Anyway, we'll go over that and talk about that a little bit. And I want to talk about RFK Jr. for a little bit because some of the stuff he said recently. He actually recently had a meltdown at a Senate hearing, which I want to play, and why you should not take medical advice from RFK Jr. On top of the fact that he actually says, don't take medical advice from me, which I have the video of course. Welcome, everybody. What's going on, man? All the usual suspects I see. I love you guys. While we're on here, if you can, again, share this video or interact with it as much as possible. See how many people we can get in here over the next couple hours and go from there. Donald Trump has posted some absolutely maniac type shit on Truth Social. It's a repeat of the video. He posted this video before, and basically saying that he wants Trump to just be in office forever. So they're trying to say that Trumpism will outlast Trump. Okay, well, it's not Trumpism. Okay, it's Nazism. It's bigger than Donald Trump. he thinks everything revolves around him. And well, right now, I guess it does because people are just throwing money at him left and right to try and curry favor. They basically put a for sale sign on the White House lawn. Am I not right? Oh man! So we're gonna go over his post for the day, like we always do. We can do some trolling on Twitter if we want. But first, I want to go over. Let's do. We can talk about the two that were shot and killed outside of the Israeli embassy. Um, Let me show you first. Well, first we'll go over the story, and I'll show you JD Vance's response. So, two Israeli embassy staff were killed in an anti-Semitic shooting outside the D.C. Jewish Museum. Okay, I wish they would stop saying it's anti-Semitic just because it happens to be people from Israel. Okay, Israel. There's not. I have nothing against Israeli people. I have nothing against Israeli people, but what your boss is doing is called genocide, murder. Okay, he's starting to get up there with old Adolf Hitler when it comes to just wiping people out, and he's openly stated that he's going to take all of Gaza and that he likes Trump's vision of Gaza. We all saw Trump's vision of Gaza when he posted that AI video of Trump Gaza. Okay, um, and they just think they're going to relocate. You think they're really just going to relocate millions of people? No, no. They're either going to force them to leave or they're going to starve them to death, and they're just going to bulldoze right over them. These people do not care. As a matter of fact, I believe some representatives from foreign countries were recently shot at, if I'm not mistaken, by Israeli soldiers. They're shooting at emissaries from other countries now. So if Israel seems to, and they're targeting Iran's nuclear facilities. So Israel seems to be the cause of a lot of the world's problems at the moment. A lot of it can be traced right back to them. So I don't think it's anti-Semitic at all to say fuck Israel, free Palestine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm more uncomfortable in saying that. Again, this has nothing to do with the Israeli people because people around the world can say the same thing about America. You know what I'm saying? We got domestic terrorists running all over the place. We got one running the White House. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people, but they're not going, oh, that's anti-American or whatever. I don't know. There's no actual term for being anti-American other than being anti-American. They should just call it being a Donald Trump. But I just blows me away at the amount of hatred that the GOP has for the American people. They loathe us. They hate our guts. And they're giving their people small crumbs like no tax on tips. And they're like, yay. Okay, great. That's pennies, bro. That's pennies on the dollar. You could literally have free healthcare right now provided by the government, but you're like, no, that's socialism. But no tax on tips. Great, guys. Congratulations. You made a couple extra $100 a year. Which you're going to end up losing because we're not going to be able to afford everything because of all the tariffs, including Nikes. All right, so anyway, two staff members of the Israeli embassy were shot and killed. And again, for those of you who don't know, most of you guys are regulars in here. Actually, all of you guys are. Ground News, good source of information, great source of information. Aggregates, or I think that's the right word. I'm trying to use big words. All the information, you can see how many different sources over here above my head that they pull from. And they give you a nice little synopsis. I'll do the middle one. So the shooting followed a tense background of ongoing, obviously tense background, conflict between Israel and Palestine. With the suspect Elias Rodriguez, I believe he's 31 years old, shouting "Free, free Palestine" after the arrest. They said he had paced outside of the museum before the shooting. The couple, as they exited an event, then entering the museum or the event security detained him without ongoing community threat. And of course, let me see here. I believe one was an American citizen and one was an Israeli citizen, but they were both embassy staff. But they were planning on apparently getting married pretty soon. So I mean, it's obviously sad that two people that have nothing to do with this conflict, they just work in an Israeli embassy. But this is what happens. This is what happens. They want to blame it on anti-Semitism. This isn't anti-Semitism. This is Netanyahu's fault. This is what happens when you push people too far. People are only going to sit around for so long and watch you murder millions of people. You know what I mean? People are going to watch around so long and watch our government defend Israel to their dying breath. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And what I've realized from this experience that Israel is they're not good. They're not good people. I mean, the government, Netanyahu and them, they're not good people. They have no regard for. They're like Trump. They're like Israel or Netanyahu's like the Israeli version of Donald Trump. I mean, think about it. No regard, no just complete disregard for life. You know, total authoritarian. Makes threats to different countries all the time. You know, wants to bully his way around. Only he has the you know, we haven't seen it from Trump yet, but Netanyahu is more than willing to kill people to get his way. You know, Donald Trump and this big beautiful bill that they're celebrating are dumping billions of dollars into ICE, which we've talked about before, is just his personal Gestapo. Think SS soldiers, but cops. He's going to also dump a lot of money into the police force. We're going to have the most corrupt, racist police force and immigration service that this country's ever seen. They're probably going to specifically go after people because of their racist beliefs. But this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. What's happening right now? I wish like I said, today was one of those days I didn't even want to stream because of all the bad shit that's happening right now. Like I just feel like the world's falling apart around me, and there's nothing I can do about it but report on it. And this shit gets in my head, man. That shit gets in my head. I really wish I could do more, other than just report on it. And I mean, I am going to protests and stuff like that, but obviously they're not listening. And you know, I made a video on TikTok and people were like, you should be promoting violence. And I didn't say anything about violence. I said flat out that the resistance is over and the only next logical step is revolution. But revolution doesn't mean violence. Revolution means disruption. You know what I'm saying? We need to disrupt these people from everything they hold dear, their money. We need to be boycotting. I mean, like, we need to be having nationwide work strikes where people just say, fuck you, I'm staying home for a week. Yeah, it's going to suck, but we're all going to suffer. Are we going to suffer on their terms or ours? They obviously don't give a shit. They obviously don't give a shit about us. So, all right, but I'm getting off topic. I'm going into the big, beautiful bill. But I want to show you what J.D. Vance posted. Okay, I'm going to show you the new post, the edited post. And I'm going to show you the original where it just falls flat. So this is the most recent post. My heart breaks for Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lachinsky, who were murdered last night at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Anti-Semitic violence has no place in the United States. Again, blaming it immediately. Like every time it's anti-Israel. Doctor Who fan, thank you so much for the contribution. Every time it's against Israel, it's automatically anti-Semitic. No, they're murdering people. It's genocide. It's not anti-Semitic. It's genocide. Okay, call it what it is. Fuck. And this is what happens when our country is complicit in genocide. Biden did it. Biden did it. He helped Netanyahu too. Okay, but this has been going on since 2023. And at first, you know, I'm starting to even have doubts as to whether Hamas was the ones who attacked Israel. I'll go out and say it. I'm not going to go into conspiracy land, but like at this point, because they attacked them back in October, November 2023. It's been almost 2 years. Okay, and they're still saying they're on a defensive. This is a defensive war, not an offensive war. It's a defensive war. That's what you call starving millions of people. China is the only one stepping up. Like China is literally sending is literally sending aid, and we're not. Okay, so that's the post. You know, nice. Of course, blaming on anti-Semitic, but at least he's like, my heart breaks, blah blah blah. Okay. However, that was not the original post. But guess who has it? I do. This is what originally J.D. Vance posted, okay? My heart breaks for the two Jews. This is what he originally posted, okay? Anti-Semitism, okay? Right in the next sentence. My heart breaks for the two Jews who were murdered last night at the Capitol Jewish Museum. Anti-Semitic violence has no place. That is it. You can't call them Jews. You can't. That's not how it works, bro. But yeah, so the vice president, clueless. totally falls flat on his face, and then of course goes back and edits the shit to what I just showed you to this, which is fucking hilarious, right? These people are so completely and utterly clueless. Oh my god! All right, moving on. What else do we got? Let me see the wonk enemy of the people. Okay, we can jump into this. Let me see here. Let me look at my email. I just want to see my topic list. Oh no, you know what? I want to talk about that first. Boop, Nike. For all you Nike fans out there, Nike is going to raise U.S. prices and return to Amazon as tariff impact costs. So, yeah, that's awesome, right? Let's pull up one of the articles out of Ground News. Nike to raise prices on some products. Okay. Oh, sorry, some. Well, including shoes. Fuck. All right, we're screwed. Nike will raise prices for some of the sporting goods makers, shoes, clothing, and equipment. So, okay, so everything. The price hike will affect only certain products and are part of a seasonal adjustment they're calling. What, summer? Are shoes usually more expensive in the summer? Is this I'd never heard of that before. All right, so Nike footwear priced between 100 and 150 will see increases up to $5, while items at 150, $10 more, and it's just going up and up and up. We regularly evaluate our business and make pricing adjustments as part of our seasonal planning. Yeah. So get your Nikes now before the tariffs hit. If you guys are planning on getting some sneaker deals, actually, you probably could buy some and then hold on to them, and they're probably worth more money eventually. I would always want to connect sneakers. I love sneakers for some reason. I always wanted to collect sneakers, but I never had the money to get a nice sneaker collection. Yeah. So that's crazy though. So the tariffs are taking effect everywhere. Walmart has already said they're going to raise prices. Donald Trump's like, you need to eat the prices. And Walmart's probably going to be like, yeah, no. That's not how it works. Yeah. But, it's funny is though, I thought that why would Walmart have to eat the prices? We were told that the foreign countries are the one that pays the tariffs. So I don't understand why. Oh, Kathy, thank you so much for the sticker. I didn't even see that pop up. My bad there. I got to pay more attention to the comments. I'm working on it. I'm nice to having people in the comments. So when I game and stuff like that, there's nobody in the comments. So I have to pay more attention to it. Plus, when I start ranting and shit, I always forget to look. Understandable, right? Some of this stuff gets me heated. All right, let's move on from Nike. I want to talk about RFK Jr. here for a little bit because this guy he crumbles under pressure. But amazingly enough, he is now saying you should not take medical advice from me. And this is after, and I pulled this article up for everybody. Measles outbreak leads to dangerous vitamin A toxicity. And you might be wondering, well, why in the world would measles outbreak lead to vitamin A toxicity? It's because people like RFK Jr. told everybody that vitamin A, he heard, helps cure the measles, which of course is not true. And in large doses, because rednecks down in Texas were like, oh, yeah, all right, that's great. I'll just go get a bunch of vitamin A, which they did. And then now we have kids in the hospital as a result of RFK Jr. These people are completely incompetent. But then he goes in front of Congress or the Senate and is like, oh, you shouldn't take medical advice from me. Obviously, you shouldn't be giving medical advice. You shouldn't even be in the position you're in. How is somebody with no medical background whatsoever, not other than nothing. He doesn't have a medical background. The guy's just a crazy nutter conspiracy theorist who swims in shit-infested waters and has a worm in his brain. I could not believe they confirmed that guy. That's crazy. So, yeah, this is how we have running the show. Catch my whiff. Thank you for the $2. Mike is muted. Mike's muted. Hasn't muted yet. So we're good. So let's go here. As a measles outbreak spreads across the United States as a result of anti-vaccination policies, or conspiracies, doctors are now seeing a new and unexpected danger. Kids are getting sick from taking too much vitamin A. At the Covenant Children's Hospital in Lubbock, Texas, several unvaccinated children, of course they're unvaccinated, show signs of liver problems after taking large amounts of vitamin A. You know, that's crazy. They could have Googled this shit and found this out without getting their kid sick and having them end up in the fucking hospital. You could have Googled that and found out that was bullshit. Oh, Jeanette, thank you for the Danish Croners. Oh, so, all right. Let's see here. Yeah, RFK Jr. promoted vitamin A during the outbreak. Even suggested it helps prevent measles. But every doctor on planet Earth, it doesn't say that, it just says, but doctor says it isn't true. But every doctor, I'm ad-libbing, every doctor on planet Earth says he's a fucking idiot. If people have the mistaken impression that you have in either or choice of MMR vaccine or vitamin A, you're going to get a lot of kids unnecessarily infected with measles. That's a problem, especially during an epidemic. So what else is going to come out? Polio? We bringing polio back too? Is this what Making America Great Again is about? Diseases that we eradicated 25 years ago? I think I talked about this before. I believe it was in the year 2000. We eradicated measles, which means we had 0 cases of measles in the United States for an entire 12-month period of time. And 25 years later, we've gone backwards because of conspiracy theories and the internet. The internet has also gotten very big during that period of time and is the cause of a lot of misinformation. And yeah, people end up on websites like 4chan or Twitter or Reddit, and they get all their information from Facebook. You know, I don't know. But you know what kills me? On that same device that they're looking on all these conspiracy websites, they also have Google. They have Wikipedia. They have all these different resources available. But we still have one of the dumbest societies on planet Earth. I mean, can we say that? You know what? It's too late. I can't take it back. We do. We have a very large part of our population that just refuses to research. And when we show them evidence, they're like, nah, that's fake. Nah, I don't believe you. That's fake news. You made that up. And then we'll show them a video of Donald Trump saying something. They'll be like, he didn't mean that. Like, just keep moving that goalpost, guys. Just keep moving that goalpost. So I want to play a couple videos. First, this is hilarious because this. So you got measles outbreak. RFK Jr. takes over, tells everybody vitamin A. Kids get sick, has to testify, and now he's saying stuff like this. This is what he says under testimony.
I don't think people should be taking medical advice.
Hold on, let me turn this up.
Right, no, I got that, and I'm not asking you to give them medical advice, but would you vaccinate your child?
Let me play that again for everybody in the back.
I don't think people should be taking medical advice from me.
Right, no, I got that, and I'm not asking you to give them medical advice, but would you vaccinate your child for measles?
If I answer that question directly, that it will seem like I'm giving advice to other people, and I don't want to be doing that. I want people to make.
But that's kind of your jurisdiction because CDC does give advice, right? I'm not trying to do it as a gotcha. It's just kind of.
What?
Yeah, so you shouldn't be taking medical advice from that guy. I thought that was obvious, but apparently not. Brina, are you talking about you were so angry last night you barely slept? Yeah, I feel you. I was a little upset when I woke up this morning because I was like one of the first headlines that I saw today was them talking about they passed the big beautiful bill in the middle of the night while everybody's sleeping. I mean, why, if it's big and beautiful, why not do it out in the open for everybody to see? Yeah, I feel you, Brina. I've been sleeping really good lately. And when I'm up, I'm like so pissed off and anxious and just sometimes I don't know what to do with myself. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it. We'll get through it though somehow. That's why I try to laugh a lot when I do these things. So today's probably not gonna be too funny, but just because Donald Trump is celebrating like they got written a blank check to just spend as much money as they want from here on out. They're partying. I mean, they're gonna kill people. They're gonna kill people. Okay, I'll say it. This bill that they passed, if it gets through the Senate, which the Republicans have full control of, then it goes to the White House for Donald Trump to sign. Once that happens, we are fucked. We are cooked. We are so cooked. I'm not even gonna lie. My mom's on Social Security. My daughter's disabled. She's on Medicaid. You know what I mean? I don't get food stamps or anything like that anymore. So that's, when I did, like, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine losing food stamps. People are going to starve. And then, like, today, the one comment I got that pissed me off to the point where I almost said, I was playing video games and I had MAGAs trolling me in the comments because the one video I made earlier today, they're like, well, maybe if people are hungry, that'll encourage them to get a job. I'm like, oh my God. If I could have reached through there somehow and yeah, they don't get it. They think that people are just sitting around being lazy, and of course there are situations where everybody abuses the system. Okay. There's going to be situations like that, but that most people that use things like Medicaid, food stamps, Medicare, need it. They need help. Because, I mean, if you look at it, may have gone up a little bit, but I doubt it because they haven't raised minimum wage. But per capita, half of America makes less than $30,000 a year. That's per person, not household income. Half of America makes less than $30,000 a year. Now, you tell me, can you live on? Most of us can't live on 30 grand a year. Most of us can't do that. Okay? So not only are they going to raise taxes on those people, they're cutting taxes on the wealthiest people and raising our deficit. The conservatives, the ones that were all about proper spending and fraud, waste, and abuse. Well, you just added trillions of dollars of fraud, waste, and abuse to our backs. Our generations, it's going to take multiple future generations to recover from this if we can stop it right now. If this continues on for years, our country will be cooked for forever. Okay? Forever. It will become isolated, will become cut off from the rest of the world, will be one of the poorest nations in the world. Crime will be rampant. Okay? My point to the guy when he says, well, maybe if people are hungry, they'll get a job. No, when people are hungry, that's when people start killing each other. That's when violence breaks out. That's when people start murdering one another for food, to survive. Why is food not a basic human right? Why is, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially in America, in a capitalist society, they're like, oh, you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh, I had a guy today in my comments, like, I work 70 hours a week. I'm like, that's not a flex. That's not a flex. Like, I was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You work 70 hours a week for a job, for a company that doesn't give a shit about you. They'll replace you in a second. But you're breaking your back for them. Why? So billionaires can have more? You dumb shits. What is wrong with you guys? Like, pull your heads out of your ass. Actually, I'm sorry, pull your heads out of their asses and listen to what we're trying to say. Like, people's lives are in jeopardy as a result of this. And they're celebrating it like it's a victory. It's a victory for them because they're all going to get filthy fucking rich off our dime. While Donald Trump holds crypto balls and takes $400 million planes from other countries that support terrorism and cozies up to countries that murder American journalists like Saudi Arabia. That's what our president's doing. Not making trade deals with our allies. He's taking bribes from other countries. So, yeah. So, anyway, going back to RFK Jr. Sorry, I got way off topic there. Here is him snapping under pressure, being asked basic questions. This guy's so incompetent. Even his own family says he is.
Secretary Kennedy, whose decision was it to withhold child care and development block grant funding?
Senator, I want to point out that in 2021, at the beginning of his administration, President Biden submitted his budget on May. You know what? You made an accusation of me, and I'm going to answer it.
Okay, I appreciate
On May
that.
28th, he submitted his budget. So our budget we're a new administration.
Okay, you can go
And I
down
also
that
want to
road.
point
I
out.
have just 2 minutes left. I asked you a specific
I want to
question.
point out something, Senator. You presided here, I think, for 32 years. You presided over the destruction of the health of the American people.
Well,
Our people are now the
Mr.
sickest people in the
Secretary,
world.
seriously.
Because you have
Mr.
not done your
Secretary,
job.
seriously. That is an
What have you done
amazing
about it?
kind of-
What have you
Mr.
done about the
Secretary, I
epidemic
am here
of
to
chronic
ask-
disease?
Mr. Secretary,
What
you
have
are
you done
here in
about the epidemic
Mr.
of chronic
Secretary,
disease?
seriously, Madam
Mr. Secretary,
Chairman.
I would ask you to hold back and let the senator ask the questions.
Mr. Secretary, I'm asking you a question about child care. I'm asking you who made the decision to withhold child care and development block grant funding.
So, just so you can see. Yeah, and there's not an epidemic of, we're just diagnosing more diseases as medicine gets more advanced. But they don't understand that. They see more people are being diagnosed with things, and they're like, oh my God, people are getting sicker. No, medicine is becoming more advanced. That's why until now, well, actually it's gone backwards, I think, in America. The expected life expectancy, we're one of the lower ones. But yeah, it's gone up. I mean, obviously. Shit, I mean, back in the day, a couple of years ago, you got a bad case of diarrhea, man. That's a wrap. You're done. You know what I mean? But yeah. So no, we're just diagnosing and treating more and more illnesses. It's not that people are getting sicker. They're getting sicker because he's telling people to take vitamin A. So the Trump administration, this is why I wanted to talk about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They're going to release a Make America Healthy Again. This entire administration is nothing but a goddamn catchphrase or a slogan. Make America great again. Make America healthy again. These are not policies. They're just titles. All right, so on Thursday, RFK Jr. He presented Make America Healthy report during an event at the White House attended by President Trump. The report responds to the president's executive order initiating a 100-day review to address rising childhood chronic illnesses linked to diet, environment, and medication. Okay. Fuck's sake. It highlights poor diet, yet we're an obese country. We're known for being fat and lazy. That's what the world knows us as. Violent, fat, and lazy. Yes, there is a health food problem, or there's a diet problem, but most people can't go to Whole Foods and buy, all the healthy shit, all the organic stuff. Some of them shop at fucking Aldi's and buy like the stuff that has no flavor, that tastes like cardboard, because that's all we can afford. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, there is definitely a diet issue. We're also a fast food everywhere. None of that stuff's. Environmental toxins. Let's talk about that. They just approved for industrial companies. They took some of the forever chemicals off the banned list. Remember when Biden banned some of the forever chemicals in the water? Well, they put it back in the water. So environmental toxins, they must be joking. And Elon Musk right now is currently pumping methane into the air, toxic gas into the air all over an entire town, running turbines for whatever stupid ass project he's doing. These people, today's one of those days where I don't know, man. I don't know. Pharmaceuticals. Okay, I agree with that, but these people are probably on plenty of pharmaceuticals, I'm sure. But we are the most medicated country in the world as well. Again, capitalism, drugs equal money. You know what I mean? If you can make a drug that you could just convince people of whatever, you know what I mean? We have a opiate problem in this country because of capitalism, because drug companies were allowed to market things like OxyContin as non-habit forming. And then millions of people across America got addicted to opiates. And then eventually when they cut off the whole OxyContin, the doctors weren't giving out prescriptions anymore. They turned to the streets and heroin and other stuff like that, eventually fentanyl. That is exactly how that played out. They are directly responsible, the pharmaceutical companies, for the opioid epidemic in America. Yeah, and over medication, I do agree with that, but I do not want to hear anything about over medication from a guy who swims in a water filled with shit or swims in a creek filled with shit. I don't want to hear anything out of this guy's department unless it comes from an actual doctor, not a pseudoscientist like his right hand person that he has. Well, I don't even remember her name. The one that doesn't believe in she didn't finish her residency, so she's not like a practicing doctor. She believes in holistic medicine now. She's just a grifter selling like fucking ivermectin and shit. Ivermectin suppositories or whatever they sell over on True Social. These people are so weird. So, all right. Anyway, let's go. You know what? I wonder if riboflavin is on his list of things. He actually said that once. Riboflavin. You know, we don't know what any of this stuff is. Riboflavin is vitamin B. Oh, this shit's crazy. It cracks me up. Man, this guy's so stupid. This guy's completely incompetent, and he's running our health department. And then we have Kristi Noem running our Department of Homeland Security, and then we have Tulsi Gabbard, who is literally a Russian agent. And that's not even allegedly. That's Russia saying that. They were like, she's one of ours. Running our intelligence community with crackhead Kash Patel. Come on. All right, I'll say I'm joking just for legal reasons, but yeah. You know what I mean? This is a mess. This is a nightmare that I don't know how we're going to get out of this. But Tulsi Gabbard recently, did I forget to download that video where she doesn't know what the meaning of habeas corpus is? That is funny. They're like, what does habeas corpus mean? She's like, that means Donald Trump can deport anybody he wants. You're like, no, that is not what that means, lady. Just completely clueless. Did I download it? No, I must not have downloaded it. I didn't. Oh, well. No worries. Let me see if I can find it in my email. No, I ain't going to look for that in my email. Oh, this is good news. I forgot about this. We'll take a second to talk about something. Judges are starting to... This is why Donald Trump wants to get rid of federal judges. Because of stuff like this. U.S. judge has ordered the Department of Education employees be reinstated. It doesn't mean that they still can't do a massive amount of damage, which they've already done massive amounts of damage. I mean, kids that are on IEPs, kids with disabilities, whether it be learning or physical, are going to be left in the review mirror. But in the meantime, they're going to have to get around all these judges. So a federal judge blocked the Trump administration from firing thousands of employees at the Department of Education in a decisive rebuke of his spring sweeping reduction in force and the executive branch's effort to weaken the education department. The judge rejected the administration's arguments that the layoffs, which affected half of the department's workforce, were part of a reorganization aimed at improving efficiency. I am so tired of hearing that word. Efficiency, and said evidence showed the administration's true intentions was to effectively dismantle the department without an authorizing statute. His order also prevents the department from implementing Donald Trump's directive to dismantle the agency. But they've been defying court orders. So I don't know if this actually means anything, if this is anything to be celebrated. It's a win, I guess. But at this point, it's a very small win. When they're trying... Why do Republicans hate America so much? Like, can anybody tell me why do Republicans hate us so much? We're the ones that fix their cars and, build their houses and do all the actual work that they won't do, that they've never done in their entire lives. Like, most of these people have never been in a physical manual labor position. Most of them have had handout after handout after handout their entire lives. Donald Trump right at the top of that list. And they want to talk to us about we shouldn't be getting help from the government. What? Oh, I've never had help. Fuck you. You've been rich your whole life. You know what I mean? You don't know what it's like. If you've never had your stomach just growling with no food and you don't know how you're going to get food, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? If you've never been poor or you can't empathize, at least, like a lot of people can at least empathize in the situations, these people have no empathy whatsoever. So yeah, I don't want to hear it. These people are like, "Oh, just get a job." Okay, great. What about the women? What about the women that have 2, 3 kids at home? What are they going to do with those kids? We've talked about this before too. What are they going to do with the kids? Where are they going to put them? Who's going to watch them? How are they going to pay for those people to watch those kids? Okay, and the amount that you're going to pay for daycare is going to be way more. I know this from experience. Daycare is expensive. It'll be way more than any handout the government's willing to give us. So, yeah. Just why do they hate us, man? I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. They hate kids. They won't even give kids free school lunch. You know what I mean? They're gutting education. They're going after Harvard now. They're trying to get rid of Harvard's international students. They said Harvard can no longer bring in international students, and the ones that are here undocumented have to leave Harvard, if I'm not mistaken, which is absolutely crazy. Here's the article for that here. So today, the Department of Homeland Security revoked Harvard University's authorization to enroll international student at its Cambridge campus. This is crazy. This is literally crazy. Let me change the view so we can get the comments off of that. Let me go to something that's high factuality. So, yeah, Homeland Security going after Harvard students. I didn't know that was their job. So they're blocking them from enrolling in international students, and they're forcing currently enrolled foreign students to leave the university or risk losing their legal status in the country. So now these Harvard students, I think it's like 20% of their entire student body is from other countries. They're just trying to punish Harvard because Harvard doesn't want to go along with Donald Trump's stupid ass ideas. Which I understand. Donald Trump could barely read. Why are you telling Harvard what to do? All right. Anyway, Thursday's announcement accelerates the administration's pressure campaign against the nation's oldest school in an escalating effort to bend institutions to the president's ideologically driven demands. Trump administration previously warned that the university's federal funding was at risk if it did not comply with the president's effort to eliminate diversity programs. At a school full of people from other countries, they want to eliminate diversity programs. Does anybody realize that? Am I saying that wrong, or does that sound really, really stupid when I say it out loud? I'm just saying. Okay, anyway. Cooperate with immigration enforcement. That's crazy. So they're saying immigration can just come on college campuses now and take kids, apparently. Dissolve pro-Palestinian demonstrations and submit to a viewpoint diversity audit. What the fuck does that even mean? The Department of Homeland Security claims Harvard has created an unsafe campus environment by permitting anti-American, pro-terrorist agitators to harass and physically assault individuals, including many Jewish students. Oh, so that's what this is about, Israel again. That's what this is about. All points back to Israel. And otherwise obstruct its once vulnerable learning environment. They're saying anti-American because they're protesting against Israel. So they're saying they're anti-American. Again, goes back to Israel. Like I said, Israel's been the cause of a lot of problems I've been finding out in American society. You know, bankrolled by the Trump administration. Yeah, we should just walk up to the White House and start putting for sale signs everywhere in a way to troll. I mean, can we do that? How close can you get to the White House without getting in trouble with for sale signs? All right, so here they go. Harvard had plenty of opportunity to do the right thing, but it refused. They lost their student and exchange visitor program certification as a result of their failure to adhere to the law. What law? Let this service. There is no law. Well, they're talking about Donald Trump's declaration. It's not a law. They can't. This is. And protesting is in the Constitution. We're allowed to protest. It's our fundamental right as Americans against anything we want, as stupid as it is, MAGA. But yeah, we're allowed to protest. So we should. Why all of a sudden are they going after people protesting against Israel, I wonder? Huh? Odd, right? Very strange. Oh my God. I want to scream. I want to scream sometimes. But yeah, so Harvard's going to have a hell of a fight, and I don't even know if they can. I'm sure judges are going to shoot this shit down. I can't imagine this is going to stick, but at this point, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I honestly wish I could predict what's going to happen. But every day I wake up and I'm like, nah, I was way off on that one. So, what are we at? 47 minutes. This might be a light show today. There was actually a lot of news today, so I might do like an hour and a half show today if you guys don't mind, instead of just rambling even more. But yeah. So again, take a quick break from all this madness and insanity to just real quick talk again about the fact that June 6th I'll be in Washington D.C. James is having second thoughts because of the entire situation with the FAA. And I probably am the one that put that bug in his ear, because I'm like, you sure you want to fly right now? He's like, So I may go on my own. My son might go with me though, which is big because I've invited him to almost every protest I've ever been to. And he's like, nah, I don't want to go, because he's afraid that maybe something might pop off. Even though I told him if something does, I'll protect him, obviously. I'd take a bullet for my kids, so that's not even a question. I wouldn't even think twice about it. So he said he wants to go, but now I got to think about if I want him to go, because again, this is D.C., okay? And just there might be a lot of people there. So the risk factor may be a little bit of increased something happening. Like when you're a small crowd, people really don't mess with you. They don't mind you. They just kind of let you do what let you go about your business and leave you alone. But big crowds draw a lot of attention. And from what I've noticed, just from protesting, they draw a lot of hatred towards us from MAGA. I don't know how big DC is as far as that goes. But in Pennsylvania, we get a lot of slurs yelled at us when we're protesting. I've been called quite a few things on the streets of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. A little small ass city, but we got more rednecks around here. More country boys driving big old diesel trucks. And yay, Trump, he loves us. He loves us. Yeah, sure, buddy. You keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. Oh, so this went way under the headlines, but yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say before that? Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my protest story. So yeah, we're going to DC. I'm going to DC for sure on the 6th. And I do have a GoFundMe for that set up. In the comments, I do have a GoFundMe set up, or not in the comments, but I have the GoFundMe link in the comments or in the description of the video. It's also on our bio page, the link tree. It's the top link in the link tree. If you guys want to donate for that trip, I am trying to raise money for that trip. And then again, I'm going to Atlantic City for another event with Tom and his wife again that they're organizing out in Atlantic City on Donald Trump's birthday, which is also Flag Day. So we'll be there to celebrate Flag Day and protest against Donald Trump at the same time. But the one on the 6th, I'm really excited about too, just to see how big it is. I want to see because this is getting national attention. So I'm really kind of excited about this. I've never been to like a massive, massive protest where there's tens of thousands of people, if not more. I mean, there should be millions of us in the street at this point. You know what I'm saying? After today, there should be millions of us in the streets. For real. I don't know what we're waiting for anymore. I think it's just people don't know what to do. I think people just don't know what to do. It's like, do we just walk in the street and just start yelling? Like, what do we do? So I think organization is a big thing that we really need to work on. And people need to come out. Like, it's a good environment, too. You're going to have a lot of fun. I promise you. Chances are nothing's going to happen. But if you do go protest, be safe, be smart. Turn off all your biometrics on your phone. Thumbprint, face scanner, whatever. Turn all that shit off. Just passcode only. and be peaceful, because we're not about violence. We're not about violence, but they are pushing us a little too far, in my opinion. My opinion is they're gonna end up provoking violence because of their actions, but then they're gonna blame it on us. You know what I mean? Eventually, just this story alone right here should tell you that eventually Trumpers are gonna fucking snap. And we already know how many they love their guns and how violent they like to be, because that's their solution to everything, violence. But I think eventually Trumpers are going to snap, and they're going to be the ones that he needs to worry about, because he is not taking care of them. But this story, now we get back to stories here. Now that I poorly pitched my GoFundMe, the Trump says that he only wants to help red states. I don't understand how this is not a huge fucking story, but this is true. But he's not doing that either. He says he only wants to help red states. Just think about that for a second. He only wants to help states that voted for him. Everybody else can go fuck themselves, apparently. I got to stop cursing on these episodes, on these shows, man. I'm so sorry, but I get so angry. But Trump isn't helping red states, even though he says he only wants to help red states. He's not. So through hurricane season last year, Donald Trump and others pushed endless conspiracy theories about how Biden administration was failing to provide adequate relief. I think we all remember that nonstop, FEMA's nowhere to be found, blah, 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 even though FEMA was there literally right away. Joe Biden released them immediately. No questions asked, sent aid, sent food, everything they needed. Of course, some of the areas were hard to get to and took longer. And also misinformation. People were on Facebook and Twitter going, oh my God, FEMA's nowhere to be found, without actually not even reaching out to FEMA, not even believing what these people told them. Okay, but now tables have turned. Now, cards printed up my channel's info. That's a good idea. We actually have been talking about that for the longest time. I do want to get business cards, especially I want to get some cards before I go down to DC, because it would be a lot easier if I could just hand out cards to people down there, because I'm a salesman by trade, and I will go through a stack of business cards in a heartbeat. But all right, sorry, got distracted by the comment. Thank you though, that's a good idea. And it reminds me that I definitely need to do that. I need to get on top of that. So I got like 2 weeks to figure that out. Oh God. All right, so we remember this. It wasn't true though. It was not true. It was a complete lie. But their people all believed it because they didn't even they don't research. They don't ask questions. They just believe everything that they're told by their fear and his court jesters, the American Clown King. So they claimed that the $750 serious needs checks that people were getting to get groceries and all that stuff was the only assistance that they were getting at all. The lie also was that, here it is right here. The Biden was using it to house undocumented migrants. That's what they were telling their own people. Instead of saying, let's get you some help, work together with the Biden administration, they lied to their people and got them to hate FEMA. Some of them even attacked FEMA employees to the point where they had to leave. So they had to stop what they were doing, trying to help people, because MAGAs were attacking them for trying to help people. And this is, again, this is what happens, okay? See, like Netanyahu and his rhetoric is leading to violence. Same thing, Donald Trump's rhetoric eventually always leads to violence. Okay, so I don't want to hear shit about any of this anymore. But this was completely untrue. So like Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them, suggested they use their magic weather technology to control the weather. She literally said that. A lot of right-wingers said that last year during hurricane season. And actually during primaries too. Was it primaries? Is that what it was? There was a big blizzard and it was freezing cold, and the Republicans are like, they just don't want them to pick Donald Trump to be on the ballot for president. I'm like, y'all really think? All right, well, who's controlling the weather now? You dumb shits. Who's controlling the weather now? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it, man. Like, what is the logic? But Marjorie Taylor Greene, a member of Congress, elected multiple times, was telling everybody that Democrats were controlling the weather and were targeting red states with hurricanes. Oh my God. Have we got the dumbest people running this country? That's crazy. They also claimed that they were blocking rescuers or blocking private planes from taking people out of the state, partly because they just hated Republicans, partly to keep them from voting, of course. They made hurricanes about voting. That's, yeah. But yeah, I don't understand how this story isn't bigger, especially amongst Republicans. But this isn't, I had a hard time finding this. I saw somebody make a story and talk about this earlier today in a video, and I went searching for it. I could not find that much information on this about Trump not helping red states, or the fact that he's not even mentioned it. He hasn't even mentioned the fact that his own constituents lost everything. People lost everything. I showed you guys video clips of that. Just houses completely lifted from their foundations, gone, scattered, like matchsticks laying on the ground. And Donald Trump hasn't said a word. But he sure posted about the Israeli embassy employees getting murdered. He took advantage of that opportunity to win brownie points with the Netanyahu. Doesn't waste any time helping his constituents, though. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, guess what? They're still going after Biden's mental acuity. Why, guys? Why? Do any of you care? Do any of you care at this point? Biden really did a good job. He really did. Doctor Who fan, thank you again. Send some sun over to the UK, right? Yeah. It's been, man, it's gloomy in Pennsylvania. It's been like 50 degrees and raining for like the last couple of days. It's been miserable. And it's mid-May. We're usually in shorts and t-shirts this time of year. But do you guys honestly care about Donald or Biden's mental acuity at this point? The guy did a good job. What are they picking apart? They couldn't impeach him because they couldn't find any evidence of corruption. All the corruption they found was made up. Completely made up. Oh my God. They went after this family for 4 years and ended up with just nothing. Dick. They didn't have nothing on this guy. They wanted to impeach Joe Biden over a car loan he gave to his own brother. And Donald Trump's out here holding $1 million a plate crypto galas. And the White House is gaslighting us like Donald Trump's not making a penny off of this. What are you talking about? Like, what? What? Did you just say that out loud? Yeah, she did. I have the video of that too. Don't worry. Also, Doctor Who fan, are you adopting anybody like 47-year-old American dudes that want to get the hell out of this country? I don't really know how to cook or anything, so I'm kind of useless. I know how to do this. I'm entertaining. That's about it. But like, seriously, we need to stop making this the headline. And we need to stop attacking Joe Biden, who is currently, like I said, dying of cancer, of aggressive prostate cancer. And they want to go after his mental acuity when he's not in the White House anymore. I know, we need to leave Biden alone. I agree. Just leave Biden alone at this point. He's got nothing to do with anything. Okay, he tried to save us from Donald Trump's first term, and he did. And if we would have gotten Kamala Harris in the White House, had he maybe, I don't know, dropped out sooner, I don't know. But racism, there was too much racism in America to vote for a black woman this time, I guess. I thought we were past all that, but the majority of America that voted proved me wrong. And it was mostly white men that did vote for Trump and overwhelmingly against Kamala Harris. So it just goes to show you that white men are still the problem in America. Always have been. We always have been. We've been probably the source of every problem in America. But we like to blame shit on everybody else. That's what rich white people do. They create problems and then they blame the problem on somebody else and make them fix the problem. It's such a joke. But I honestly, just leave Joe. Joe Biden was a legend, dude. I remember the day that he dropped out. Me and Mike were literally going live. Like our intro video was playing. I hit the live button, and immediately after I hit that, I found out Joe Biden had dropped out. So our whole show was like, well, why do we do that? Maybe if you would have dropped out sooner and we could have took the focus off of him sooner, because they've been going after his mental ability or mental acuity for years. He's too old. He's too old. Donald Trump's out here talking about golden domes and Gulf of America and banning paper straws. And you want to talk to me about Joe Biden? Just shut up. I don't even want to hear about Joe Biden anymore. I think Joe Biden did a good job. I did. I don't agree with everything he did, but as a whole, as a president, he did a great job. Statistically, he did a fantastic job. He's one of the most successful one-term presidents in American history. By the numbers. You can argue with me all you want on that, but it's true. It is very true. And he had a lot to clean up. I mean, he had a lot to clean up. And the only reason we didn't have this shit show the first time around is because the first time around, they actually had people that were qualified for the job running behind Trump, being like, you can't do that. Like, because remember when Donald Trump literally asked if you could shoot migrants in the legs? The guy wanted to put fucking alligators in a moat or by the southern border. He wanted to electrify the fence and put spikes at the top. Donald Trump. But they're worried about Joe Biden and his mental fitness. Joe Biden's not in office anymore, man. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But they're still obsessed over it, man. Always will be. This one threw me off. You guys know Southern Poverty Law Center, right? The ones that labeled Moms for Liberty an extremist group, along with a lot of other groups that Donald Trump is associated with. But the Southern Poverty Law Center came out with their 2024 Hate and Extremism Report on white nationalist and extremist activity. Now, here's where it sounds good at first, but I'll explain why it's not. There's a 5% decrease in the total count of hate and extremist groups. But the overall impact of hate groups is increasing day by day. The overall impact really remained unchanged in 2023, or since then, the overall impact. But yeah, the report, where was it? Let me pull up the one. Hold on a second. No, that's the right one. I guess we can use that one. So white nationalist groups are dropping, but white nationalism activity is going up. And I think that's because they're starting to unite under Donald Trump. All these groups are starting to unite under this whole MAGA Christian nationalist. So I don't think there's a lot of these little groups breaking off anymore. I don't think they're creating new groups. I think they're all just kind of consolidating now. That's what I think's happening, which makes sense. I mean, Donald Trump's going to sink all that money into ICE and police forces. Why? To police what? To go after who? Americans, right? We don't need billions of dollars to go into ICE to deport anybody. That's unnecessary. There's no migrant problem. Okay? If you want to fix the immigration issue in the United States, then fix the immigration system. Okay? You don't just round people up like they're fucking animals and deport them to countries they're not from. Where was that one of the last ones? The Southern Sudan or something like that they deported them to? Or some country they're not from? Southern Syria or not Syria? Was it Syria? No. I forget what it was. But they weren't even from there. And now that government that they supposedly sent them to is like, we didn't see them. We don't even know where these people are at this point. They're just deporting random people. And they're doing it against court orders, too. They continue to violate court orders to implement Donald Trump's racist agenda. So, yeah, white nationalist groups are decreasing, but white nationalist activity is going up. Not good. Again, I think there's no need for them to work in the background anymore, under the shadows. They can become big organizations now. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, once a white nationalist, racist Nazi group gets too big, it draws attention from, like, the FBI and shit like that, and because they're a hate group. But now they can operate out in the open and organize and train, and nobody's stopping them. If anything, they're probably encouraging them. Oh my God. So we're going to get through this real quick here. We have a couple other stories I want to talk about before we get into the Medicaid bill and Donald Trump's crypto scam. But more cruelty from the Trump administration. They filed a motion to end protections for immigrant children in federal custody. So the Trump administration filed a motion on Thursday to end a policy cornerstone that since the 1990s has offered protections to child migrants in federal custody, in a move that will likely be challenged by advocates. The protections in place, known as the Flores settlement, largely limited to 72 hours the amount of time that child migrants traveling alone or with family and detained by U.S. Border Patrol can be kept in ICE custody. They also ensure the children are kept in safe and sanitary conditions. So they're fighting against this. They're fighting against humane treatment of children is what they're over. If we want to sum it up into something real short, that's crazy. That's crazy. So they're mad that they have to keep kids in safe and sanitary conditions. The Flores settlement is named for a Salvadorian girl, Jenny Flores, whose lawsuit alleging widespread mistreatment of children in custody in the 1980s prompted special oversight. This is the second time the federal government under Trump has attempted to end this policy. In August 2019, the first Trump administration asked the judge to dissolve the agreement, and its motion was eventually struck down in 2020 by the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Under the Biden administration, oversight protections for child migrants were lifted for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services after new guidelines were put in place last year. So the Department of Homeland Security is beholden to the agreement, including Customs and Border Protection, which detains and processes children after their arrival in the U.S. with or without their parents. Are they going to talk about human smuggling again? Okay. They try to argue that some of these kids are coming in with the adults that aren't their parents. These people are crazy. Children are then usually released with their families or sent to a shelter operated by HHS. And so they're arguing against these humane treatment of children, the Trump administration. Just more cruelty. Like I said, this is why I didn't want to really do the show today, because there's not a whole lot of me laughing and being, check the Atlantic, what happened now? What happened now? I hate when people say that. Check the Atlantic. Oh no, God, what happened? Yeah. Let's see if there's any new news stories. Let's go home. Oh shit, I forgot about that. Oh man, they're going after THC again. Come on, man. Guys, get over it. Leave us stoners alone, man. We don't bother nobody. The Trump video that he showed, to Cory Booker. Yeah, don't get me started on him right now. I'm very disappointed in that whole show that he put on, because that's all it was a show. It meant nothing. He did it for nothing. What a waste of time. So the video that Donald Trump showed the leader of South Africa that we talked about yesterday was fake. It was not a video of a grave. He was showing and saying it was a grave site of white South African farmers. That was his evidence to the world that there's white genocide happening in South Africa. It's a fake propaganda stunt. Okay? It was a protest demonstration. The crosses were on the ground intentionally because they were protesting against something. I can't remember what it was, but it had nothing to do with white genocide or white farmers or killing white farmers. Nothing. It was a demonstration from years ago. And Donald Trump administration took it, showed it to the leader of South Africa, who probably already knew it was propaganda. That's probably why that one lady was laughing, because she probably knew exactly what the fuck it was. You know what I mean? Because remember yesterday we were looking at Donald Trump, or the one lady in the middle looked at the video and started laughing. She was smiling. I was wondering why she was, but that's probably why, because they knew that video was not of white genocide. Complete bullshit. More lies coming out of the Trump administration. But let's talk about real quick the big beautiful bill, and then we'll go to Trump's meme coin, and then we'll look at Trump's crazy ass video that he reposted again. But on Substack, Qasim Rashid is a good person to follow. He took a breakdown, did a breakdown of what's in the big beautiful bill. Okay, so you guys ready? Hold on to your hats, because this is about to get serious. It's going to rip healthcare away from millions. Congressional Republican bill will rip healthcare away from nearly 14 million people, with millions of seniors, children, disabled people, and families losing coverage. For low-income families already struggling, this would be the difference between life and death. All right? Yeah. I will check the Atlantic for sure. But all right, so devastate rural communities. This is going to destroy red communities. Medicaid funds many rural hospitals and clinics. Without it, entire regions could lose access to emergency and routine care. Rural hospitals will shut down, which means that people that live in rural areas will not have to drive to cities miles and miles and miles away just to get health care. Could be an emergency situation. May take you an hour to get to a hospital, though. It's going to destroy care for disabled people. Americans with disabilities live in every neighborhood and every community in this country, including more than 1 in 4 adults, my daughter included. Medicaid slashed at least 7.8 million aging adults and disabled people who rely on Medicaid for home and community-based services that will provide things like in-home care, transportation, and personal assistance will be harmed. Cuts means longer wait lists, too, for people looking to get like Medicare, stuff like that. Disability claims. Yeah, good luck with that. It's going to undermine our workforce. Medicaid pays the wages of nearly 5 million American workers. So there goes that. So much for that, right? And the danger goes beyond cuts. One of the most dangerous ideas on the table is these so-called work requirements. This is what we were talking about before, where it would make you have to work so many hours a week in order for you to get, a couple $100 in food stamps. So it's going to cost you way more money. Yeah, we are the only ones that are going to save us. I'm hoping that's the right one you want me to look at. Yeah, I totally agree on that. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to kill people. The work requirements, you're going to have to take your kids to, you can't take your kids to work, so somebody's got to watch them. Maybe people don't have family members that can watch their kids. Maybe they don't have enough for a nanny. Or is Donald Trump going to help us and give us universal daycare? No, that's right. I'm sorry. That's socialism. We can't do that. That's bad. Socialism, bad. Capitalism, good. Bailing out billionaires, capitalism. Bailing out everyday Americans, socialism. Make sense? So Medicaid is not a handout. That's what these idiots don't understand. It's an investment in human dignity. I like how he puts that. It keeps people in their homes. It supports small businesses by covering workers. It saves money by preventing costly ER visits. And it's popular. More than 3 in 4 voters support it. Nobody wanted these cuts. Not even Trump supporters wanted these cuts. As a matter of fact, they were promised that these would not get cut. Am I not correct in saying that? Trump on the campaign trail promised everybody that they would not touch Medicaid or Social Security. But they gave him no tax on tips. Yay, guys. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. So what you can do, if you want, call your member of Congress. Here's the phone number, if you guys want it. 866-426-2631. And demand that they oppose the Medicaid cuts. If we don't get to this before it gets to the Senate, and if the Senate doesn't grow some balls, metaphorically, a lot of people are going to suffer, because Donald Trump will sign this. in a heartbeat, because this means more money to him. This means more money to him. He is making. They actually, a Trump insider recently said that Trump doesn't even have to do anything. The cash is just flowing his way at the moment. Everybody's trying to get in his pocket because they know they can. They know they can buy Donald Trump. That's all they got to do. Join one of his clubs, invest in one of his stupid cryptocurrencies, buy him a private jet. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do to get in Donald Trump's favor. Like I said, there should be a for sale sign on the White House. I'm surprised there isn't. I'm surprised they're not trying to sell that and then move it down to Mar-a-Lago. So what do we, yeah, email your lawmaker. You can there's a tool that you can use. Let me click on this, see what happens. Oh shit, here you go. That's useful. This link right here, caring.nu/protect. I don't know if I can put that in the comments or not. No, I can't. But there is this that you could go to. Caring across generations. I guess that's one way to remember it. go.caringacross.org is what it is. But it's an easy way to sign up. Actually, while we're here, Mr. As well sign up, right? But you guys can't see my address, so I gotta move it over here. Sorry. Can't give all that away, right? That would be bad. So give me 1 second while I fill out this petition. Important stuff. Personalized, I'm writing you to ask, protect Medicaid, and not kill millions of people. Yeah, that works. Okay, there we go. We're good. Petition signed. So definitely do that if you can. And yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm just not like a real jovial, upbeat mood today. Today's really got me exhausted. Cue musical montage, right? I need a. That's what I need. Of the funding bill, yeah, I could probably look into that. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. And see exactly how much they're going to be lining their own pockets, which is probably going to be a lot. A lot. Donald Trump was happy about it. This is what he posted on Twitter. The one big, beautiful bill has passed the House of Representatives. This is arguably the most significant piece of legislation that will ever be signed in the history of our country. I agree with that because it's going to fuck over a lot of people, more so than any bill will ever fuck over Americans. The bill includes massive tax cuts, should be in parentheses to my buddies. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Nobody gives a shit. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Tax deductions when you purchase an American-made vehicle. There's no such thing as an American-made vehicle, just so everybody knows, so that's not a thing. Along with border security measures, raises the pay for ICE and Border Patrol agents. So now we're going to have a bill intel some more. I could look into it for you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good idea. I will definitely do that. I like this guy. He's giving me ideas. Absolutely, for real. Yeah, we'll look into the bill more tomorrow. I know it's really long, so I'll see if I can find somebody that was nice enough to break it down for us. Or, I have an idea. All right, anyway, so they're going to increase pay for ICE agents. They haven't increased minimum wage in, 20 years? Something like that? Longer, I think. But they're okay with giving pay raises and hiring more Border Patrol agents when we don't have a crisis at the border. So they're just going to be, this is Donald Trump's personal Gestapo. This is why he's happy right now. He now has a fund he can now fund his personal Nazi police force to police Americans. This has nothing to do with immigrants, guys. This has nothing to do with immigrants. So wait, before I forget, because I am a forgetful person, let me put this in for tomorrow's notes, what we're going to talk about. Look at big beautiful bill and funding. Perfect. So now we're gonna have a bunch of racists that they're gonna hire, whose probably only requirement is, do you love Donald Trump? And they'll say yes, and they'll give them a badge and a gun and tell them to go arrest brown people. That's what I picture anyway. I mean, I'm probably not far off. Funding for the Golden Dome. Funding for the Golden. Great. So now we have funding for a missile defense system. Great. It's exactly what America needed. I feel so much better now. I can't afford food, and I can't afford to pay my doctor bill, so I'm probably going to die. But at least those borders will be safe. We'll be safe from all those whales and sharks in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Oh, and the Trump savings account. It wasn't originally called the Trump savings account, but they went back in and made sure it said Trump savings account. It was supposed to be, right, okay, get the bill. It was supposed to be Trump, not Trump. It was supposed to be a savings account. All newborn babies get $1,000 trust fund, which I don't believe this is true. They would never do this. I think it's one of those empty promises that they just said is in there. But now they're going to say it's the Trump savings account where they're going to give newborn babies money that'll sit there until they turn a certain age or whatever. It'll probably be worthless anyway. They'll start with 1,000, and then when they're 18, they'll actually owe money back to the government by the time it's all said and done. So the Republicans voted yes on this, what he says, historic bill. Now it's time for our friends in the Senate to get to work and get to this bill to my desk as soon as possible. There's no time to waste. The Democrats have lost control of themselves and are aimlessly wandering around, showing no confidence, grit, or determination. Well, I hate to say, but I actually agree with Donald Trump on that. They are not. They are acting like a bunch of defeated little. I can't say the word. I can't say the word that I want to say. But Donald Trump's really happy because now he has a blank check to build a Golden Dome and fund his racist border patrol efforts. Yay. How did they do this while simultaneously cutting health insurance and food assistance to Americans? So they want to deport all the brown people, and then they're going to, whoever's left, they're going to starve to death. Great plan, Donald. Sounds like a winner. But yeah, it was narrowly passed. They did it during an all-night session because they're too big of cowards to do this shit in the daytime when the American people are awake. They pass this shit in the middle of the night like the little scared little bunnies that they are, because they're scared of the American people. And until we show them what to be scared about, what they really should be scared about, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop, because right now we're not doing shit about it. Right now, Americans aren't doing anything to stop this. Okay? We are, but we're not doing enough. We are not doing enough. And there's not nearly enough of us in the streets. And I'm hoping this, after they promised they were not going to cut Medicaid, all that stuff, hopefully this gets everybody else out in the streets. Yeah, so keep in mind, they're going to fund his border bill, or his border patrol. They're going to fund ICE. They're going to give him hundreds of billions of dollars probably for a stupid Iron Dome, while he is accepting gifts from other countries and hosting crypto dinners for anybody that was nice enough to invest in his crypto meme coin. And a meme coin has absolutely no value whatsoever. Prices are predicated on pure speculation. And they're usually a scam. And this one really proves it. Nearly half of Trump's crypto sweepstakes winners have lost money. They may have got a dinner with the president, but they've lost millions. So what are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? Donald Trump will host a top host the top holders of his cryptocurrency at a gala tonight at his private golf club near D.C. Though the president has called the Trump token greatest of them all, nearly half of the gala's guests have suffered losses from purchasing it. So, am I missing something here? Like, why are you even going? You should be pissed. I'd demand a refund. But no, they're this is so stupid, man. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously the dinner is bringing up ethical concerns. I can't believe that's the headlines. Trump hosts investors in his cryptocurrency despite ethical concerns. Donald Trump has no ethics. He's not an ethical person. So why are we even surprised by any of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a break. He's the most corrupt president in United States history, possibly world history. I mean, think about how many scams and grifts. I mean, if you go to Donald Trump's digital store, they're now selling Gulf of America and Trump 2028 hats that are made in China, I'm sure, for $50 a piece. So, yeah, that's what's happening right now. So he's having a $1 million a plate dinner with his crypto meme coin investors, who half of which have lost money on this investment. It's not even an investment. It's just, this is gambling. Crypto is basically gambling. It's made some people filthy rich because it's corrupt as hell. There's no regulation. There was very little regulation, and Biden, I believe, was trying to put more regulations in place, and some crypto influencers were starting to be held accountable for running scams. You could literally go on the internet right now and create your own meme coin. I'm not even kidding. You could create your own currency right now and then go on the internet and tell people, buy my coin. It's going to be the best coin ever. That's how easy it is to make a meme coin. Anybody could do it. But Donald Trump is now, and he launched this crypto coin about 3 days before he took office. 3 days. And this lady somehow is trying to gaslight us into thinking that Donald Trump is not doing this to enrich himself. $1 million a plate dinner, and he's not doing this to enrich himself. Then why would you try to do it for free? Why would you? Yeah, Katzaman is Friday. We will party. We will party. We will run in the streets extremely happy the day that happens. I'm not sorry either about that. But here's a clip of Caroline Leavitt gaslighting us, trying to convince America that Donald Trump, at no point has he been trying to make himself wealthy throughout all this event. Okay, whatever.
Caroline, back to the presidential gala tonight. Did anyone in the White House or in the White House counsel's office advise the president against holding this sweepstakes, whereby people who spent the most money on his Trump coin would then have access to the president at this dinner?
Again, the president has been asked about this. He has addressed this. I have also stated previously from this podium that the president is abiding by all conflict of interest laws that are applicable to the president. And I think everybody, the American public, believe it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency. This president was incredibly successful before giving it all up to serve our country publicly.
No, he wasn't.
And not only has he lost wealth, but he also almost lost his life. He has sacrificed a lot to be here, and to suggest otherwise is frankly completely absurd.
Does the White House have
Wow. She is the queen of gaslighting. What? I can't believe I just watched that again. It just blows my mind every time I watch it. That's crazy, y'all. This is out of control. All right, so we're done with all the news stories for the day. So let's just see what Donald Trump is posting on Truth Social. Oh, crazy shit, like always. I think he has there is a AI video of him hitting Bruce Springsteen with a golf ball. I think there's that in here somewhere, but honestly, I don't even feel like looking today. But let's go back like we do, 24 hours. He's not posted that much. These horrible DC killings. Here, look. Hasn't said a shit about her or tornadoes destroying homes and killing Americans. People lost everything. No FEMA's nowhere to be found, but he's okay immediately making a statement about these anti-Semitic attacks. So, yeah, he's more worried about what Netanyahu thinks than what his own constituents are doing right now, which is pathetic. The guy's literally just a garbage human being. Here's him posting about that again. I already read that. Oh, this website is just toxic. Oh, here it is. He's pissed about bringing people back from South Sudan. Now, these people allegedly were all convicted of crimes, but they weren't given the due process. You know what I mean? Like, they just jammed them up and deported them. They didn't give any. But then after the fact said they're criminals. I don't. At this point, do we even know if these are, I mean, they could be criminals. Great. That's great. But you don't just ship them out to South Sudan, which I don't believe any of them are from. And like South Sudan's on the brink of civil war. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, man. South Sudan? And according to, I think it's the South Sudanese government, they don't know where these people are. They said the plane never got there. So that at this point, we don't even know where these people landed or if they landed. Here he is celebrating Florida, which is fascism central. Make America healthy again. Oh my God, I'm so tired of this. Heading to the crypto dinner in Loudoun County, Virginia. In a little while. The U.S. is dominating in crypto, Bitcoin, and we are going to keep it that way. Great. So crypto people get rich. The dollar tanks, the value of the dollar tanks, and all of those with like actual bank accounts, not crypto wallets, are going to lose everything. Cool. Cool. Again, this is all about Donald Trump and his people. He does not give a fuck about America or its people. This is what he's posting. This is he posted this video a long time ago. Yeah, that's what our president is posting. AI videos of him hitting golf balls at Bruce Springsteen, celebrating destroying American lives, celebrating lining his own pocket with crypto, and posting videos of Trump forever while he sells Trump 2028 hat. He's already campaigning, guys. He's already campaigning for it. So get ready. It's going to be a rough few years. We have to get to the election, at least midterms. That's the only way, but I think they're trying to dismantle as much as possible before then. I don't think they're going to give up power. I don't think they're going to give up power, ever. Or at least going to try and hold on to it for as long as possible. We could be cooked. We could be cooked. I'm not going to lie. It's not looking very good at the moment. Today was not a good day for democracy or freedom or, I don't know, quality of life or optimism or trying to look forward to the future. Like, it was a bad day for me. And I'm sure I know a lot of you in the comments are upset about this too. So yeah, that's why I'm going to keep it short today. Tomorrow I'll dive into the bill a little bit more and see if I can't find us some good breakdowns of exactly what's in it. I want to focus on exactly what he's trying to give to his wealthy buddies. But we know, I know there is something in there that has to do with banning Medicaid from covering any and all gender-affirming care for anybody, any children in the United States, and their attack on trans people. Nobody's talking about that. So I want to look for that too. Because, you know, we have their communities back at our show. We have every community's back at our show, except for MAGA. They can shove their heads up their own asses at this point. That's why I'm tired of people like, we need to convince MAGA to come. No, we don't want them. We don't need them. We don't want that. We need the people that didn't vote. We need the younger generation that is going to vote, because we cannot let our younger generation get wrapped up in this. This is what the problem was. This is why this happened. They won the information war. They used propaganda and money, lots and lots of foreign money, to push this narrative that Donald Trump was somehow cool, and Gen Z. Gen Z let me down this election. They really did. I thought they were going to save democracy. No. My generation, especially Gen X and Gen Z, white men, especially, we have to call it out like it is, are the reason we're in the situation we're in. So you see anybody with a MAGA sticker on their car, I wouldn't be afraid to give them a piece of their mind. Ask them if they're receiving any Medicaid or food stamps or anything like that. You know, maybe they'll think twice about continuing to support this. But people that voted for Trump 3 times, that are hardcore MAGAs, that believe in all these conspiracies, stop. We don't need these people. We don't want these people. We've been trying to convince them for years. It is a useless and futile effort. So what we need to do is focus on the people with functioning brains that have a little bit of critical thinking skills. And we need to focus on the kids that are going to be voting in the next election, because we need to make sure they don't fall down this red pill pipeline, especially the young men. We got to protect the young men from these predators who are trying to teach them this toxic incel behavior. Am I right? So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here and go play some video games and just numb my brain with that for a while. So if you guys want to hang out, I'll be back on Twitch and I'll be on TikTok gaming for a few hours just to kind of take my mind off of things. Sorry I wasn't very upbeat tonight. I will try and find some more funny stuff for tomorrow. But today was very grim. It was one of those days where it's hard to do the news. And being that it's new doing this stream, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 6 to 8 o'clock once again. And then I'm off Saturday. Sunday, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump's obvious mental decline. I mean, he's almost walking into polls. The guy believes the most ridiculous conspiracies. I mean, we're building a golden dome. Like, obviously, the guy's brain is mush. So we're going to just take a little bit of a deep dive into that. James and I will be on Monday. And I don't even think we have a guest on Tuesday, so we got to figure that out. We do have some guests lined up for the rest of the week, and then in 2 weeks I will be in DC, which will be awesome. And then the week after that I'll be in Atlantic City. So you guys are going to get a lot of on location live streaming content. So we'll have a lot of fun. We'll be able to hang out. And I hope to see you guys in the comments. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you if you guys did donate tonight. Thank you so much. If you're able to donate and support our work, please check our link tree in the description of the video. And the GoFundMe information is in the link tree. Love you guys.